Hello and welcome to Skool News.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about a big one, engagement, and why some groups are like a ghost town, even if they have hundreds of members or thousands of members, and while some other groups are like these thriving villages of engagement. And so this is a big question on Skool. It comes up a lot in our community. And I think, this is going to be a big topic that we cover today. And we're going to discuss the differences between a lecture and a party, strangers and friends, and the difference between an audience and a community.
Yes.
And I think, people are going to learn a lot from this one today. And we're actually going to bang out two modules because the two modules belong together.
Yep.
Setup and first three members, as well as engagement and 10 true regulars. So we're going to bang both of these out right now. Let's start with this, setup plus first three members. Now, the key to setting up a community and building a community from the very beginning is to think of it like starting a party. And we've got something to watch here. This is actually quite relevant and almost perfect.
Learned a lot about leadership and making a movement. Then let's watch a movement happen, start to finish, in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is overglorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
There's so many lessons though.
Yeah, so there's multiple lessons in there that we're going to cover. But the thing that I like the most is as soon as there's 3, it snowballs.
Yeah.
It's like that one guy on his own before he gets one person to join, then one, it's still kind of, there's some inertia there, but as soon as there's like 3, it just takes off.
Yep.
So yeah, we think that to start a community the right way, there's 3 things. Set the vibe, invite 3 friends, and show up and let things emerge. And we're going to cover each of these now. So the first one So when you're setting the vibe, if you think about it like a party, well, you want to get the music right. You want to get the lighting right. You want to get the mood right. If, there's super bright lights and no music,
Yeah.
then it's pretty lame.
Yes.
And you also need some beers and things. So you want to do the same with your community. And I think the way you set the vibe is with the group name, icon, cover image, description, and about page. And to do this, you just go into your community and you click settings, general, upload a group icon image, a cover image. We give you the dimensions there. Add a short description, can just be something very simple. And then you can go to your about page and just write a very short description here, and maybe just add one image here to start with. Keep it super simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. And you can just go to Google image search. Like if I just Googled moon bathing, I could see a bunch of images. I could use one of those. Or you could ask ChatGPT to generate an image of something.
Yeah.
Both of those tools are free.
Yes.
And available to everyone.
Another one is Canva. I used to use Canva and create these complex images to do this sort of stuff. And then I saw Sam just go to Google Images, download an image and just upload that. And I was like, oh, it's that easy? Really?
Yeah, I don't even have Canva.
Canva is cool though, and it does work.
Don't have Canva, don't pay for ChatGPT. Can always come up with this stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, really don't overthink it. Just make it feel like, set the vibe.
Yep.
And it should instantly look and feel like it's for them. And them is your target audience with this community. And we've got some examples to show you. So Calligraphy School, it's about learning calligraphy. It instantly feels, you get the vibe pretty quick. That Pickleball School, I mean, you see pickleball over here, that place for all pickleball players. There's playing pickleball, pretty straightforward. The Lady Change, it's for women who want to lose weight from menopause, and you instantly understand what this is about. This one, 90s boom bap beat making, you instantly get what this is about.
Yes. I think people overcomplicate this. It's like, if you're teaching guitar, there should be a guitar in your image and in the video. If you're teaching pickleball, go to the pickleball court and make your video or get your images from there instead.
Yeah.
Just like as simple as possible.
Greg Lutzka, professional skater, was asking me like, hey man, what do you think of my about page? And it was him sitting at his computer talking to the camera. And I was like, dude, people want to see you grind a handrail. Like, what is this? This is a skating community and you're at a computer? Like, what about all of the awesome footage you've got, right? So like, just get straight to it. Show some, like this guy here, he shows him
on a lifelong journey to master.
He shows him like actually making beats.
So cool.
Yeah. And then here's the Schoolers about page. You can see, we don't even have a video here. It's just a single image of the office. Private club for school owners. Let's build communities together, right? Pretty straightforward. So you don't need to overcomplicate it. And it's a good idea to state the purpose of the group. And this can be very simple. It's just who it's for. And maybe there's also a shared goal. So like at the Pickleball School, it says for people who want to get better at playing pickleball.
Yep.
Right? The Calligraphy School is like people who want to learn modern calligraphy.
Yes.
Yeah. So just keep it very simple and straightforward, because people do judge a book by its cover and they should instantly just be able to judge it and be like, oh yeah, this is for me.
100%.
Yeah. Another thing to do is a pinned post, so that when members come, there's something in there at the top of the feed that tells people, it welcomes them and it gives them something to do, something simple. And I've got an example here that I've pinned. And I think this is a really simple way you can do it. You can just say, welcome, introduce yourself, plus share a pic of your workspace. Let's get to know each other. You can use this simple format. Hey, I'm from location. For fun, I like to do this thing. Here's a pic of my workspace.
Yep.
And then I said, I'll go first. Hey, I'm from LA. For fun, I like to stay in forest cabins. Here's a pic of my workspace.
Boom. Simple.
Very simple. And then Andrew Kirby added one for him.
That guy seems cool.
You're going to get a ban.
That guy's funny. I think it's like just first impressions is the lesson here, both with the pin post and with the about page and stuff. And also we look through a ton of different communities. Almost everyone encourages people to introduce themselves inside of their community. So it's a good best practice.
Yeah, I think the real lesson here with this pin post is this vase.
Whoa.
Johnny, cut to this vase. Look at this thing. It's beautiful. So so there's this like Zen proverb I remember reading, and it said the reason why vases never get thrown out is because it allows the user to put a piece of them inside it. So if it just was static and it was just it had fake flowers in it, you would probably get sick of it and throw it out, right? But it's the fact that it's a container for people to put a piece of themselves in. It's kept forever. And I think a good community is like that, and a good introduce yourself post is like that too. So it's very simple here. It's saying, it's even giving them a template for them to put themselves into it.
Yeah.
Including the photo and there's a saying like a picture says 1,000 words. I've seen this work so well because what people do is they spot the vibe of other people's setups.
Yep.
They notice the guy who has an electric guitar in the background and they end up DMing him and being like, yo, do you play?
Yeah.
Or they notice the person that's in the snow or that's, you can just see the different vibes and you can kind of tell if you're going to get along with someone by their workspace.
Yeah, very true.
And so you're immediately starting to connect people by just giving them something very simple that they can engage with. They don't have to think too hard about it. And then, you're starting to like form this web of connections. So you want to think about your community like that, the vase example. And then a very simple thing is to put a weekly hangout on the calendar. And we've noticed that the best communities tend to start like this. There's something special about putting a face to a name to a voice.
100%.
Like once you've seen someone on video and heard them speak, you know what their voice sounds like. When you next see their post or their comment, it means so much more.
Yes.
And it makes the community stronger and richer. And the people tend to overthink this. And there's a Hamza coffee hour story here. This is Hamza. He's got some communities on Skool. And he has a successful YouTube channel. He makes content and everything. And he has a paid community. And he asked his members, like, hey, what do you guys want from me? And they're like, honestly, we just want to hang out with you on Zoom. Because we already get tons of content on your YouTube channel.
Yep.
We just want to hang out. And so he called this, I think he did it daily. You don't have to do it daily, but you can do it once a week. And he just called it coffee hour. And literally all he does is shows up, opens up Zoom, has his morning coffee, and just talks about whatever. With and they love it. It's one of their most favorite parts about his community. And to set up one of those, you can just click on the calendar tab. We even have a pre-built thing for you here that's just called coffee hour. Or you can click up here, coffee hour. And you can call it whatever you want, set a time, repeat every week or whatever. And then you can use Zoom or Google Meet, and soon you'll be able to use Skool's own live feature. But it's pretty easy to use Meet or Zoom. I'm sure people can figure it out. And then quick description can just be like, come hang out, let's talk about anything.
Yep.
And you don't need to have an agenda or anything like that. You can add a cover image.
Who added those cats? Was that you?
I can't remember. But yeah, this way, there's this, it's like setting the tempo of a group. You've got posts and comments and they're kind of asynchronous, but some kind of synchronized like tempo, like once a week live.
Yep.
And then you can record that if you want. You don't have to in the beginning. That's a really solid basic structure to build a community. 100%. So it's just set the vibe, have an introduce yourself post that's pinned and put a weekly call on the calendar and state the purpose of the group.
That's it. Everything else will form from there.
Yep.
And the second thing is to invite 3 friends. So if you're going to host a party and people start showing up and they're strangers, it's going to be a weird party. They could be strange, they could be weird, they may not fit the vibe that you're wanting to have. So the best parties that I've been to, and if I've hosted a party, you always invite a few people that you know are going to be great members before everybody else comes.
You need a balance.
Yeah.
Because you want a few strangers because it makes things new and interesting. But
Yep.
if there's no friends
Yes.
and only strangers,
Yes.
it sucks.
And you always start with friends.
Yes.
Maybe there's 1 or 2 or 3 people that even come and help you set up. So the best communities we've seen start by people inviting a friend, a colleague, a customer, 1 to 3 people. And you can do that by looking through your texts, your DMs, your contacts, your emails, even people who follow you on Instagram or Facebook friends, LinkedIn collections, contacts, anything. You probably know these people, you know them very well. And you can just start by sending a casual message, inviting them to the group. Yo, want to join this new community I'm building? I'm sure you text in your own way. You don't need a pre-framed script. Just invite these people to your group and they'll help you set things up. They'll help you get out of your head. And we even did a data analysis on Skool and found that people that have 3 members in their group have twice the likelihood of having a successful group.
Yep. Getting people in there. What is a community without people? It's not actually a community.
Yeah.
Right.
One person's one person's lonely. 2 is just a conversation. Like we're having a conversation. This isn't a community. 3 people, now the community forms.
Yep.
Meh.
So set the vibe, invite 3 friends, the same way you would start a party. So you get some music going,
Yeah.
dim the lights, put on some music.
Yeah. I think
get
there
3
are,
friends over.
that's it. There's a lesson, like a lot of times when we're building an online community, we forget what we're doing building a community. But if you use an analogy of like real life, like a party or bringing people together, then what you should do and how you should engage with the community becomes far more simple.
Yeah, do you know how you could have a lame party?
How?
Prepare a 3-hour lecture and invite people over.
Which brings us to point
Yeah.
3.
So the third thing, once you've done that, is you just got to show up and let things emerge. I think people are they're almost too like controlling and prescriptive. They want to like think through everything, design everything, build everything, and then just force it upon people.
Yeah.
Instead of starting with the very simple initial conditions and letting the complexity emerge from that naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And so good communities always emerge.
Yep.
That's how good cultures emerge. That's how good everything emerges. And I think a good example here is a lecture versus a party, right? Like no one really likes to be lectured to.
Yes.
No one really wants to attend a lecture,
Yes.
but everyone likes a party.
Yes.
And the difference here is a lecture is one person forcing like this stuff upon a bunch of people. And a party is people talking to each other and having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, letting in a good party always emerges too. Often the best parties are kind of spontaneous too, right? There's something to that. And you don't need to have everything ready before inviting people. Like you can get people in early, even when you haven't fully formed the idea or the concept for what this thing is, because they will help you find it.
Yes.
And the beauty of finding it together is that then they're way more bought in because they were there when it was in this stage and then that stage and then this other stage.
Yeah.
And so they feel like they've been a part of it and they've evolved with it.
Yeah. A good framing for that is calling it founding members as well. A good way to get people in before it's ready is to say, would you like to be a founding member? Because then they feel like they have some responsibility to like engage in the group and make the group good. And they feel like they were there from right in the beginning, which gets them super bought in. And they also don't expect it to be finished because it's just a founding member.
Yeah. And good communities are co-created with the members over time. So co-creation, like learn what people want and then give them a little bit of that, and then see what they like and give them more of that, see what they don't like, remove some of that. And it's like a dance between like, you know, you and the members, trying to craft the ultimate like experience. And a good way to think about it is push versus pull. So I use this a lot. And what I think most people do is they push or force what they think people want on them. But when you do that, people are very bad at telling you, I don't want this, please take it away. They never say that. They just don't say anything, which is the worst. So then you end up with all of the stuff that you've put out there and you don't know what people like and don't like, and they're not telling you. Whereas if you let them pull it from you, if you learn what people want, and the way to do that is to kind of leave some silence, don't give them too much. Because if you give them too much, they'll just be overwhelmed and bounce. But if you don't give them enough in a way, they'll kind of pull from you what they want, then you give them a bit of that, and that way what you end up with is something that they want fully.
Yes.
And there's nothing there that they don't want.
Yeah.
And that's how I think you make a good product, and that's how you make a good community.
It's like it's better to have a few things that people love than a lot of things that people are just like, meh.
Yep.
We've said meh a lot in this video.
And then I think just showing up and keeping the vibe right. You know, if you don't show up to your own party, two things could happen. One is a bunch of
Hooligans.
random people would turn up and ramsack the whole place, which is funny because that actually happens to some communities on Skool. The other one is it just will suck and someone will come in and then leave, and then no one else will come and it will just suck.
Yes.
So, you know, the first thing you need to do is show up.
Yep.
And then the second thing you need to do is keep the vibe right.
Yeah, it's on you as the owner. That's your responsibility.
Yeah, like if someone turns up and they're spilling their drink all over everyone, and then they put on some terrible music and they're like shouting, they're ruining the vibe.
Yep.
You need to sort that out.
You do.
And if the music gets really lame, you need to sort that out. You need to kind of like make sure that things are balanced.
Yes.
People run out of beer, you need more. So that's really what all you need to do to set up your community and get the first 3 members. Think of it like starting a party, set the vibe, invite 3 friends, and then just show up and let things emerge. And by show up, I mean like daily, checking in on it daily. And so that's it for this one.
Boom.
Now let's go to engagement plus 10 true regulars. So this one is all about building a community that has engagement. Like we see posts and some people are like, hey, why is no one engaging in my community?
Yep.
And it's always the same thing
Yes.
that's happening. And so the big idea here is like 1,000 strangers versus 10 friends. So good communities are just a bunch of good communities have friends.
Yes.
10 true regulars is a good way to think about it. And bad communities are just a collection of strangers.
Yeah.
And no one wants to talk to anyone. And so there's 3 things that you want to do here. Don't lecture people, number 1. Build friendships, number 2. And then curate the culture, number 3. We're going to run through these 3 things now. So I think there's a real problem with like lecturing people. And I've thought a lot about this problem. Like, where does it come from and what's going on here?
Yeah.
And I think I've got a pretty good take on it now. And so it's thought leadership and value posts. And I want to show you what the rest of the world thinks about this kind of stuff.
Walk on stage, walk on stage, walk on stage, walk on stage. I am a thought leader. You know that I'm a thought leader because I'm wearing a blazer, I have glasses, and I've just done this with my hands. I will now walk over to my laptop. By doing so, I'm demonstrating to you that as a thought leader, I understand technology and that there will be slides. Because everybody knows that a presentation seems more legitimate than it actually is if there are slides. I'm now going to come back.
So you get the point. You can watch this video if you want. It's got like 2.5 million views, which shows that, you know, by the time something is being mocked en masse and the comments agree, it shows you that something's like weird. It's gone too far.
Yep.
And I think social media kind of created social media and TED Talks and things that created this whole idea of being a thought leader or an expert or having authority or something.
Yep.
And it makes people act really weird, and it makes them do things that are known as value posts. And there's another whole like thing here called LinkedIn Lunatics, which has like 815,000 members. And LinkedIn Lunatics is talking about the like insufferable behavior on LinkedIn. And I'm sure you've experienced it yourself. Let me just give you a perfect example of like thought leadership and value posts. So here, this guy's saying, I proposed to my girlfriend this weekend. Here's what it taught me about B2B sales.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm sure you've seen this. It's everywhere. We have to delete this shit every day. I'm just like, delete.
Yeah.
It's like insane, honestly.
It's one of the rules in Skool is no thought leadership posts.
And here's another image about it. Like, LinkedIn Lunatics be like, what should I post about today? B2B lessons from getting engaged.
Why is it all about getting engaged?
Heroism of hiring a pregnant woman.
Increased productivity. That was my
from
thing.
working in the bathroom. I always see things about leadership and Bali for some reason. But
no, it's like 5 tips.
oh, this one, career lessons from my kids' lemonade stand. So it's like these people wake up and they're like, okay, I need to get some content. I need to post some value, right? And they just post this crap, and it's insane, honestly. But then, you know, they wonder why no one engages. So we see this all the time. Someone will start a community and they're posting value posts every day, like 10 things from Bali, this, these articles. We actually call them thought leader articles. They're very similar to a Medium article, which is an insufferable thing. And so they're basically posting thought leader Medium articles into their community.
Yep.
And wondering why no one is engaging.
Yeah. And the analogy is, imagine going to a party and standing up at the front and saying, all right, here's 10 ways that you can increase your engagement. Everyone's like, shut up. We're here to have fun.
Yeah, you'd get booed.
Yeah, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. And so, don't lecture people. If you want them to engage, don't lecture them.
Yep.
And the key to this is, like, good communities emerge. So it's kind of a dance, or this thing that comes from the initial conditions by setting the vibe and the vision and the goal, and then members coming in, and there's a interaction there.
Yep.
So the party versus lecture, don't be a thought leader.
Yeah.
Think of it as building a party or a movement. And the key to doing that is to ask questions that give members an opportunity to participate. The key thing is give members an opportunity to participate.
Yeah. There's a good story here. There was this cake mix that people would sell, and it was a huge opportunity. And if you just put it in the oven, it makes this beautiful cake. The cakes were good. It was quick. It was easy. It was cheap, but it didn't sell. People weren't interested. So this company hired a team of the best psychologists in the world to figure out why nobody was buying this cake mix. And what they found was that people want to feel involved. So what they did is they had the exact same cake mix, but all you had to do was add an egg. But as soon as you added an egg to the cake mix, it felt like it was yours. Now you're proud of the cake that you've made, and it started selling like crazy. So when you give people an opportunity to put themselves, they will love it so much more.
Yeah, and again, it's this vase example that we've got here. Johnny, give us the shot.
We don't have a vase cam.
So allow, like, good communities have posts and questions and discussions that allow members to put a piece of them into it.
Yes.
Then they're bought in. They're a part of the community.
Yep.
Just like a vase, its use is that it allows you to put something of your own inside of it.
Yep.
The other thing is participate in comments and replies more than you post. So when we look at these people that say, I've got no engagement, what's going on? 100 thought leader posts, not a single comment. Someone else asks a question, they're like, fuck that, I'm not even going to read that. So like, that's not cool. Like,
Imagine at a party, just someone speaking to you, you ignore them, and you just keep talking to them. Everyone hates that person at a party.
yeah, but like, there should, when I think about it as a ratio, it's like 9-1, the amount of energy I put into comments, replies, and reading versus posting.
Yep.
Because you don't know what to post about unless you've got, like, really listened and engaged with the community to see what they need, and then you give it to them and you announce it in a post.
100%.
Right? So you should be participating in comments and replies. That's where you're actually talking to someone. Doing a post is like a broadcast to everyone. So you're not really talking to someone.
True.
You're talking to the group. But when you're actually in the comments and replies, you're building relationships with people.
True.
And you should do this more than you post. And you should also listen more than you talk. And listening is reading on Skool. So like, every morning I sweep the whole community. I go through everything since I basically went to sleep, and I read everything. And it gives me a good sense and a good feel for like what the community wants.
Yes.
And then that's what I should be focusing on, is delivering that.
Yep.
And you should ask for help solving problems. Like, if you're experiencing a problem, don't just like sit with it. Like, you can involve your community in that. And you can crowdsource solutions. It's a really effective way to get ideas. Skool has basically been built from the community.
Yep.
They told us what we should make, and then we did it.
Yes.
And you should ask for feedback. Like, a lot of the time when I'm contemplating doing this thing or that thing, I'll ask the community. This can also happen through DMs, by the way. It doesn't all have to be posts.
Yeah.
And include your members in decisions. Let them co-create the thing with you, and let them have a say in its future and its direction, because that's how you will build really loyal relationships and members.
Yep. And it's just genuinely helpful to ask people for their thoughts.
That too. Yeah. And you want to, I think a good leader, they're passionate about the subject. They should be the most passionate. You want to like build in public. Like, you don't have to have everything ready right away. You want to have a small amount and then ship it as you go, the same way we're making this course right now, and bring people with you on the journey.
Yeah, that's good. So the first thing is don't lecture people. The second thing we've seen successful communities do is to build friendships inside of their community. So the good communities have strong relationships between the founder and the people, and then the people itself. We have an image here. Boom. On the left, which is the traditional way, is an audience where there's just one person who speaks to everyone inside. And then on the right, we have the community, which is the new way of doing things, where the owner is in the middle, connected with all the other members, but also all of the other members are connected with each other. And this is really cool because it means if you, as the owner, go away for a week, say you're on vacation, the community's still there. They're showing up not just for you, but for everybody else, so the community can stay super strong. And the best way to do this is to have a weekly hangout call. One simple call per week can be as simple as you getting together, sharing a coffee, getting together, hanging out, getting to know each other is a really good way to build that community. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to do things that don't scale. I don't want to do it. I just want to build a course and leave it alone. I don't want to spend time doing something that doesn't scale. But I've seen that the best communities come from people building relationships one-on-one, Gary Vee calls this in the trenches. You have to get in the trenches and fight, hand-to-hand combat. I mean, obviously you're not fighting, you're building relationships, but you do it one-on-one instead of one-to-many, and you can really build great relationships by having deep conversations with people inside of the DMs. Also, connecting members with other members, like I said, is almost as important as you having relationships with people. It's the friends example, like in the TV show Friends, which is basically 10 friends hanging out, 10 true regulars. It's not just Joey friends with Chandler, they're all friends with each other. And it's the interconnectedness of those relationships that make for the interesting dynamic, which is why people love Friends so much. So you can DM people, you can get on calls with people, and even meeting people in person is like the epitome of community building. You can meet up with your members. It builds relationships unlike anything else. Like I remember the first time meeting schoolers, it feels real. And even Zoom calls aren't the same as meeting in person.
Yeah, I can say a little something here. So I'm always on the lookout for people who like get it or who are really committed or passionate. And what I'll do is, the first thing you got to do is show up and listen and read, right? But I'll notice those people, and it starts by me liking their stuff, and then I might leave a comment and I might say, whoa, this is really good. And then if they keep doing that, I'll escalate it to a DM.
Yep.
And then I'll start DMing them stuff, and I'll start asking them, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?
Yep.
And they feel like they're getting information that other people don't have, and that I'm trusting them with bigger decisions.
Yes.
So now we're even tighter. And then it escalates to Zoom. So I'll often just say, yo, you online? ? Yes. I just send them a Zoom link.
Yep.
And then we jump on Zoom, not even scheduled, never met them before. And then I start showing them designs. I'm asking for their feedback. Now we're even closer. And then the next level from there is we meet in person. And often that just happens because they're in town and they're like, yo, I'm going to be in LA at this time. Will you be around?
Yep.
And because we've already got a relationship, I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
And that's actually what happened with you.
Yeah.
You've kind of gone through this thing here.
Yep.
And then you eventually ended up joining the Skool team and sitting here, which I guess is the ultimate form, the final stage.
Yep. So if someone DMs you something cool, another little tip that is beneficial is oftentimes people are scared to post things inside of the community, and people will DM you and they're like, oh, I just had this win. People in Skoolers message me and they're like, I just got my first sale. I just got 100 members inside of my community. And a really good tip is just to ask them to post it in the community. Because if they just DM it to you, only you see it, but encouraging people to post means that everybody sees it. And often in the beginning, it is work to get the community going and buzzing. You do have to ask people to post, you have to engage, but then once it's going, it becomes less effort.
Yeah, sometimes people will share a win privately, and wins should be public.
Yes.
The other one is questions. Some questions you just best to handle them privately, but some would make great discussions with everyone involved.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the final thing in Build Friendships is to check in with people. So just ask them, how's school going for you? What are your thoughts on my community? What are your thoughts on this specific topic? How are you getting on? What problems are you running into? Is there anything I can do to help? And by checking in with people privately, they'll tell you what they want. And when you spot a pattern, like if a few people say, oh, I need this thing, now you know what to build. Now you know what to add to the calendar. Now you know what to post. Now you know what course to build, only once you've checked in with people.
Yeah. And I think here people think like they're just checking in on people and they're like, hey, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything? And that can get a little bit annoying, honestly.
Yep.
If that's the kind of group you're building, that's totally fine. But for me, a lot of the time, I'm not saying, is there anything I can do for you? I'm asking for some feedback on something I'm doing. It's so much easier for them to
yes.
to say something about that.
They don't have to think.
It still builds a relationship. It helps me and they feel a part of it. And then now they might ask me for feedback about something.
Yep.
Yeah. Then the third one is curating the culture. And this is really important. Once you've got a group of people there. So good communities feel like cozy villages. They have culture, inside jokes, and stuff. Don't know if I was supposed to say etc. So one thing I've found very useful for this is to think about your model citizens. Model citizens. It's a very powerful idea. So you want to think, who is the model citizen that you want everyone to be more like?
Yes.
Because if you're very clear about your community's model citizens, it sets the goal and standard for everyone, and everyone's like, okay, that's what good looks like.
Yes.
They need to know what good looks like. And that's the easiest way to do that. Identify them and publicly praise them. An easy way to publicly praise people is to pin their post.
It's so funny. It's literally 2 clicks, but it signals to the entire community, we want more of this.
And there's a good example I've got here. So when me and Kirby were rearranging the Schoolers community, Kirby was like, I think we should tell people what we want. And I was like, I think we need to let it emerge because I don't even think we fully know what we want.
Yep.
And so when it emerged, like a person saying they got very low churn and they're exactly what they did with their community, we pinned that post.
Yep.
And then something very interesting happens. People start modeling that.
Yes.
People learn very quickly, low churn in a high quality group. If I build that, if I get these results, screenshot my dashboard and share my story, there's a high chance I'll get pinned too.
You've just given away the source.
Yeah. But it works.
Yeah.
Without telling people what we want, we've noticed this. When we pin stuff, people do more of that.
100%.
And so it really works. And then when you find these model citizens, you want to build deep relationships with them. These are very important people in your community. And so they shouldn't be treated like everyone else.
Yep.
You can do one-on-one Zooms with them, DM them, meet in person, all of this.
Yeah. And a lot of communities have one guy at the top that's the guru and everybody else, peasants, they're normal community members. But that creates such a weird dynamic where if you are not just the one person who's super cool, who's the best person in the community, but you bring people up, then it makes a better dynamic where it's less weird, it's more natural. Like at a church, there's not just one person that's the best. There's a lot of people that form the congregation and there's a lot of leaders inside of the community. It works really well.
And then you want to make them stars. So, really build up their status. We kind of have started calling it internally like a school celebrity. Like, Misha's becoming a school celebrity. Another thing we do is we shout them out on school news. So we pull them up as examples in school news, and I'm sure you've seen that.
Yep.
We include them as examples in the course, which we've done earlier today. And we also, when we do our school games events, they're the people speaking. And so, and we feature them more. So we're really trying to blow them up.
Yep.
We want these people to become super famous. And when you have a group of people that are like that, everyone will follow that. And then the community is a real community. It's not just one person lecturing.
Yes.
You've got 10 true regulars, 10 model citizens, 10 deep relationships, 10 friendships. It's all kind of the same thing. And you want to think of the carrot and the stick. So you want to publicly praise good behavior. If someone does a good post, pin it. In Schoolers, we have a category called gems.
Yep.
And so sometimes when someone does a good post, we put it in the gems category, we pin it, and then we comment on it and saying, whoa, this is amazing. I just moved this to gems and pinned it.
Yes.
So the person feels very loved.
Yep.
Right?
Even a simple like does this. If you like someone's comment, often people notice the founder, I just liked by this person. It's a good way to praise good behavior.
Yeah, and you've got to moderate bad behavior too. This is the stick, right? So there's got to be an incentive and a reward, but also some kind of punishment for bad behavior.
Yep.
So I like to do most of this not in public because it's just not positive.
Yep.
So I try to deal with it in the DMs and things. So delete something, tell someone, hey, look, I deleted this because of this.
Yep.
But if it's a real problem for the whole community, it has to be addressed publicly too.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes you need to state, hey, I've noticed things have started to go in this direction. This is not what we're here for. And so you've got to kind of learn when it's right to do both.
Yep.
But praise should always be public.
Yes.
And then do something fun. So challenges are a great way to build culture. Like
Yeah.
we've got the school games. Other communities have all kinds of different challenges like weight loss, crafting. Maybe this month everyone's going to craft this thing and take a photo of it and share it. Or everyone should learn this song on the guitar, record yourself doing it. And yeah.
Challenges are a bit of work to set up, but I haven't seen anything that increases engagement as much as like a 30-day challenge, a 7-day challenge, where you say for this period of time, we're all going to try and do this thing. It crushes.
Themes. So one period in school games, we called it the Season of Madness. And it was pretty crazy.
It was crazy.
And then we even had 1 month, which was called the Battle Royale, which was the peak craziness, where people weren't sleeping for days.
Yeah.
But it still builds the culture.
Yep.
And then shared experiences. So going through things together. Some of the live webinars we've done for school when we launch a feature, if I made a mistake, that's a good shared experience for people. They remind me of it forever, and it becomes a meme and a GIF and all kinds of things. And meetups. So, you can, if you're I know who does this well, AI Jack.
Oh, yeah.
AI Automations by Jack. And when he's going to a new country, he'll DM everyone and be like, hey, let's meet up in London or let's meet up in Australia or whatever.
Yep.
But your members can also arrange meetups too.
Yeah. And the pictures from those meetups are like the best asset ever. Nothing feels more like a community than when you see real people meeting up in real life.
Yeah, for sure. You want people to share photos of those things. It's really good for the community.
Yep.
And it doesn't all have to be on topic. That's the other thing. Like, good parties don't just talk about like lead generation. They talk about other things too. And so that should almost be encouraged, honestly.
A lead generation party.
Which is why in this previous module, the introduce yourself part, you can see for fun, I like to.
Yes.
I didn't even this has got nothing to do with this community. It's just for fun, I like to.
Yep.
Because this actually, I noticed this when I ran my mastermind. People, when they said that they liked golf or cigars or like whatever, the other people who liked golf identified those people. They started playing golf together.
Yes.
The people who liked guitars or whatever. So like the fun question, even though it has nothing really to do with your community topic, it will actually build community better.
100%. A good example of this is when my community got 1,000 members, we all played Minecraft together and did a speed run to kill the Ender Dragon. I don't have a Minecraft community, but it was amazing shared experience, completely unrelated, but it bonded people.
Yeah. And jokes, like nothing bonds people together like jokes and having fun with your members, even like nicknames for people.
Yep.
Memes can be very powerful. And I want to show you some that have emerged from schoolers because these are pretty cool. So this one here, my therapist. So what's really bothering you?
Oh, that is painful.
And only school people would like understand this one. This is a good one. This one?
Yeah, relatable.
And this kind of makes my point about someone likes your post, you feel a little something. People commenting on your post, people engaging in a discussion under your post, getting pinned.
Yes.
So like this just goes to show that when you do this stuff, it works so much so that someone made a whole meme about it.
Yep.
And this one was good. Took us a while to ship our affiliates feature.
but it's here now.
It's here now, so
Delete the meme.
it's still a good meme.
And what happens is when an inside joke starts to form, you can't force an inside joke. You can't just be prescriptive and be like, oh, this is going to be the group culture. There's going to be this inside joke. It'll bubble up and then you can keep repeating it and keep spreading it so that it stays, but you can't force it.
Yeah, I would say the best culture has to emerge, and then you have to find the things that are good that you like, or the things that stick, and you have to like pour gas on them.
Yep.
And keep bringing them up, and the things you don't like, you have to kind of like, yeah. And it's really good culture definitely emerges, 100%. And here's another funny video. This is a good one.
Let's go.
This just started as a little Easter egg, that little cat. But it's funny, a quick story on culture and the cat. So like we had a cat in school at one point, but then we just removed it because it was causing some bugs in the software. Then we just forgotten about it. Goose, who won the school games 1 month, he showed up at the Hormozy event and he had made merch that had the school cat on it. And I was like, hey, how did you even find that? And then I was like, I'm going to bring that cat back. So I bought the cat back and made it different and better with like playlists and stuff. And then it like took off again. And now it's become like, now to show you like what's happened with it.
I mean, it's literally on this monitor. It's like everywhere.
Well, it's School's icon.
True. It's everywhere.
Like it is School's group icon now. Schoolers.
Yep.
And so, that's how good culture emerges. And here's another video that someone made.
This is horrible.
I can't stand this anymore.
We need to help him. Join us now on Skool.com.
Let's go.
So I think when memes, jokes, and like even videos like that, as people start making them, that's when you've got a good community and a good culture going. And when people make those things, you need to remember them and praise them and keep bringing them back. Then OGs/elders, like all good communities or villages, they've got the wiser elders, and then they've got the newer people.
Yep, true.
So people that have been in there for a long time, right? And there should be some respect and status to being an OG.
Yeah, there's a lesson in there that we haven't articulated about, like, the best communities are diverse, like a garden, or a field, if there's just one type of plant. One bug can come along and completely ruin the whole field. But the best communities have different layers, different people serving different roles, different interactions, different elements, instead of just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Natural complexity that's emerged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a garden or a...
Yep.
Yeah. And then stories, good stories about different things. Like the Season of Madness is a great story that I keep bringing up.
Yeah, we gave, for people who don't know, we gave away $100,000 for the person who won this prize, or a Cybertruck.
We gave away 4 Cybertrucks, and everyone just lost their mind.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Then merch. Like merch is a great way to build community. And, we've got Skool merch, and you can see that the cat is now included in our merch. It wasn't included before, but people like the cat so much.
Yep.
And then we tried to even include community members in the photos of the merch.
Yep.
Another thing we can show you is over here in this like cover image.
I bet you people don't know
No, they
this.
probably can't see it. But we photoshopped community members onto the Friends people here.
Yeah.
To show like, not only is this a community for friends, but it's about these regulars.
Yep.
Not just us. We're
Yeah.
not in any of the images.
So it's Evelyn on the right, then Calvin, then AI Jack, then Nav, and then
My hand
Hamza
do
at
this.
the top.
Yeah.
So we've mentioned AI Jack on this call. We've mentioned Calvin in previous
Hamza
calls.
was mentioned.
Hamza was mentioned as well.
Yeah.
Nav was in the merch photos. It's the 10 true regulars.
Yep. And an insider joke, Hamza is talking to a woman.
Which is what he teaches.
Which is what he does a lot of. So, like, there's these little things hidden everywhere.
Yep.
Awards, like, it can be a great way to build community. So we've got these Skool Games awards. We've got a challenge and awards.
Yep.
We're giving people status.
Yep.
We're making them feel special, and we're building them up as an example.
Yeah. A big thing here is we did not start with any of this stuff. Like, we used to do our weekly calls just on a laptop with Zoom. We've only got to this set later on. Your community will start so simple. Don't feel like you need all of these things, and it'll come over time. Years. It'll take years.
Yeah, and you want to celebrate wins and listen and empathize during struggles. So when people are winning, or when the community's winning, really make everyone celebrate. But when everyone's having problems, address it and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to like not address it.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have a problem, we address it, and then we'll talk about it on Skool News. And we're like, sorry, look, here's how it happened.
Yep.
Because you're going to make some mistakes. The most important thing is that you fix them.
Yep.
Yeah. And then this one's a huge one. Gather, organize, and curate the best resources.
Yep.
So we've found that over time, communities, there's a lot of shared wisdom that emerges from communities. And you want to, if you're reading and listening and paying attention, you can collect this stuff. And then every now and then, I think it's a good idea to curate the best of it in a course. And this is what we're doing right now in the classroom. So, we've taken everything we've learned from doing this far, and we're curating it and putting it into this training here. And so it's like, we didn't get these lessons ourselves. They came from the community.
Yep.
And I think this is how the best courses form. When they're natural, it's like the best wisdom from the community from all time, just curated into a small few modules.
Yeah, that's good.
Community wisdom. And so yeah, this is basically how you get engagement. And 10 true regulars is you don't lecture people. You let them participate, and you yourself participate and listen more than you talk.
Yep.
You involve them, you co-create the community together, and you consistently show up and you're passionate. You build friendships and relationships. You actually become friends with people. I think business people are like, what? You mean, but they're a customer. Yeah, well, you still can be friends with people.
Yeah.
And so building some deep friendships.
Yep.
Just 10 people that are friends will keep a whole community alive
Yeah.
and make it awesome.
Yeah.
Versus 1,000 strangers don't really do much at all.
And it's way more fun to run a community when you actually like the people inside of the community.
100%. And then curate the culture. There's no end to this because the community is always changing, and you need to show up. You need to find your model citizens, praise them, become friends with them, make them stars. And then these other things will emerge over time, and it's good to be on the lookout for these kinds of things. And to kind of wrap this module, the best leader has the most passion. They lead by example. They show up daily, listen, and does whatever it takes for their members. By being the model citizen, others are inspired to follow.
Ooh, wow.
So you are the ultimate model citizen. You should be the most passionate. You should show up daily. You should listen. You should make friends with people. And you should constantly aim to improve and share. And when you do that, other people copy. And then when you praise them, more people copy. And that's how you build a culture and an engaged community. That's how you build a movement.
Ooh.
Boom.